Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
I don't want to call her. I want to go to sleep. I want to take a nap. Huh? Okay, no nap. I give her a call about the magazine. I go write some crap for a couple of hours. And then I get to take a nap. Right?
Hello and welcome to Unequal Sequel. My name is Dave and I'm one of the 2 hosts of this adventurous podcast.
And my name is Rich and I'm the other host of this adventurous podcast. Think of me as Indiana Jones to Dave's Short Round. I look incredible in a fedora and he's a little guy who's good with gadgets.
It's a good one. The premise of Unequal Sequel is very simple. We ask our guests their best ever sequel, worst ever sequel, and finally their dream sequel.
And of course, we'll sometimes drift off and talk about other things. Sometimes movies, sometimes life in general.
And sometimes we do drop big fat spoilers. So if we do that, press pause, press stop, flick forwards. Go put your Christmas decorations up, guys. It's that time. Because on today's episode, we are joined by Esther Manito.
Esther is one of our absolute favourite stand-up comedians. She is amazing. And she also does the Ghastly Women podcast, which is a brilliant podcast that looks at some of the truly horrible women in history. It's amazing. You should go and listen to it.
We're very excited to sit down with Esther and chat all things sequels with her.
These are Esther Manito's Unequal Sequels. Enjoy!
What is the first sequel you remember seeing and being excited about?
First sequel I remember seeing a bit, probably Godfather 2.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then, that's probably the first one that I got quite excited about. I was never into like I'm trying to think when we were kids, but like Star Wars, things like that. I was never into that.
Yeah.
Or fantasy, anything fantasy based.
But gangsters was your thing?
Gangsters was my thing. Yeah, I watched Godfather quite early on and I really loved it. And then that was it. I was very into that. So Godfather 2, which I didn't enjoy as much because I'm not a massive Rob De Niro fan.
Wow.
I know, it's controversial. And so, I mean, to be fair, he didn't have to, I don't think it kind of pushed him. Anyway, yes, I'm not a massive Rob De Niro, I mean, compared to Brando. But yeah, so I wasn't hugely like blown away by it, but I was very excited to watch Godfather 2.
Can I ask what age that was?
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah. Was that your decision, or was that your family trying to make you watch Godfather films instead of Disney films? If we watched. I probably watched Godfather when I was about 13. Yeah.
So I probably watched Godfather 2 about then as well.
Wow, okay. So not really, really young. I was thinking you were going to say like 8 or 9 or something for a second then. But no. So 13's all right. I think that's all right.
I can't remember any sequels though before that.
A lot of people are like the rubbishy Disney sequels and stuff, but it doesn't sound like you were into that sort of thing. No.
But all the Disney films I watched as a kid were like the old Disney ones, which didn't really have sequels.
No, you didn't go straight to video DVD ones then.
No, we there was what were so all the ones I'm like, God, I can't remember the Disney films I watched as a kid. They would all be like the Robin Hood, Jungle Book, and there was Jungle Book 2, but I don't think I ever saw it.
Oh, don't! It's awful. It's
terrible.
Someone has picked it as their worst sequel on here before. It's very bad.
We've watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 as well as a worst.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I don't think I ever saw it.
No. We've done the Beauty and the Beast, the Christmas, whatever it is. That was someone's worst pick as well.
Yes, all the sequels, when they try and do Beauty and the Beast 2 or all those things, I always just feel they never come out in the cinema. They're never good. I mean, the Toy Story sequels are good.
Yeah.
The Pixar
I
ones.
appreciated them as a kind of grown-up. I didn't watch them as a kid.
Right. What kind of films were you watching when you were younger then?
I was watching a lot of old films. I wasn't very conventional. In that sense, and I think it's because I had quite an unconventional family, but my parents never really entertained children's entertainment. It just didn't really happen in our house.
Right.
And they were
brilliant.
my parents would be like, I'm not taking you to sit in a cinema and watch whatever, it's just not going to happen. So we would always watch like quite old films and kind of like cult classics, but we never really did a lot of like, and they hated fantasy, and as a result I hated fantasy. So a lot of my friends that when I was like younger, like 8, 9, they'd be like Labyrinth.
Well, that's terrifying. Labyrinth.
I thought it was shit. I thought it was so boring. Return to Oz.
Terrifying.
Shit. I just found all these things really boring, and everyone would be like, how can you find it boring? And I'm like, I mean, it isn't great though.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, I don't. I think if you've grown up with more grown-up stuff, then it's hard to go back. You know, once you've seen like more adult stuff, you don't want to watch the kiddie stuff maybe so much.
Back to the Future is like my husband's feeling ill film, and like whenever he's feeling ill, he always wants to watch Back to the Future and have beans on toast. And Back to the Future, when I was a kid, Marty, I know like we shouldn't slag off Michael J. Fox, but Marty McFly, I thought was probably one of the most annoying personalities.
Oh, yeah, he is. Absolutely.
He's bouncy, little, hyper, American. I mean, not that being American, there's nothing wrong with that, but just the kind of like, everything was like, I don't know, he was just so bouncy and hyper, and I was like, oh, I just want to slap him. So I could never really get on board.
We've talked about this before, where like Marty McFly is definitely the kid who peaks in high school and then is just a twat after that. Like,
and everything he says is so like, even his jokes, they're all just really arrogant and overly confident. And I'm like, he just annoys the crap out of me. But also, I mean, that film's highly problematic because essentially you're watching his mum get sexually assaulted, and then she just has to marry the guy that saves her from being sexually assaulted. So I'm like, it's not the greatest of messages.
No, that's true. That is very true.
And Grease, I wasn't into Grease either. I mean, I like it as an adult, but when I was a kid, I found that really dull as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really like it now. I've gone to watch it now, although it really made me laugh because me and some friends went to watch it at Backyard Cinema. And you know, when you're watching it as an adult, and my mate who works in casting, but she was just like, who the fuck casted this? They're all like 55 playing 18-year-olds. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's mad. So as you're a parent now, are you the same with your kids, or have you now gone back and started to watch the ones you didn't watch when you were a child?
Yeah, so all the things, so like I'd never seen Cool Runnings. So my husband watched like all the classics. He came from a family that were really into like mainstream. So he then wants to show the kids those films. And so I'm now watching them, a lot of those films for the first time. So I'd never seen Cool Runnings before. We watched that as a family. All the Marvel films, which aren't my cup of tea.
Right.
They're all really into them. Star Wars, cannot bear it. Wanted to claw my own eyes out. And my son's really into it. He loves the Star Wars films. My husband loves them. So they're like, oh, when mum's gigging on a Saturday night, we'll watch a Star Wars film. Well, I wasn't gigging on Saturday night, so I watched one with them. And I was like, what is this?
Oh, there's some very, very bad ones. Which one did you watch?
The one that I watched, whilst watching the film, I think I pretty much cleaned my entire living room, made a new pair of curtains. I was literally just finding anything to do. I was like, this is so boring. Harrison Ford, he can fuck off. He annoyed the crap out of me in that. Oh god, yeah, I'm just so sexy. And it's like, no, you're not. You're a fucking dick. You're pissing me right off. What is everyone wittering on about? What is going on?
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, Harrison Ford, to be fair to him, did quite a favour. He said to George Lucas, George, you can write this shit, but you can't say it. Like, I think he's with you on the what is everyone going on about.
I know. That's what I hate about fantasy. It's like Lord of the Rings.
Oh, God.
People fubbaging about, and they're all like, "Oh, Fimbley buff, we need to go to Wimbley more." So, what are you talking about? I can't bear it.
Dave's gonna have a little crisis because you're picking on all his favourites now.
I'm making notes of every film you hate. It's brilliant. It's so
I can't
good.
bear it. And my husband and my kids are quite into that. I like the old school things like Gremlins. That's quite a cool film.
Gremlins is cool.
Watched that for the first time with the kids. Said Cool Runnings. What was the other one we watched that was good? Oh, Home Alone 2. I like that as a sequel.
There we go. That's a good one. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. You've got Dave back again now because he loves that too.
I think it's the best one.
Are you really into... Am I slagging off all the films that you love, Dave?
Yeah, but Esther, I'm a proper geek. I love Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, but I can totally understand where people are coming from when they say they don't enjoy it. I get it. I'm not going to be one of those people that shouts you down.
Well, no, as you can tell, I've got quite a short temper.
I love it.
So things have to be, and I'm really black and white. There's no grey area. So I really struggle with action adventure based themes, based narrative, where you need to go on a quest. I'm really bad at films that follow that kind of Todorov structure because I get really bored really quickly of it. I find the whole quest really annoying. I'm not somebody with any patience, so I just like things where it's like bam, 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 which is why I like films like the gangster genre, because they always have that multi-layer narrative. So there's always like 3 or 4 stories going on at the same time, and they're always really high-paced and really quite fast. So I like those. I like those where it's high drama, quite intense. I like things that are very dark. So anything where I'm expected to be invested in a fantasy-based problem where everyone looks like an elf doesn't appeal to me.
No, I can see that.
And I get very annoyed at... I think I was talking to Pierre earlier about this, and he was like, I think you might have a condition where you get quite easily wound up on things. But I get really annoyed by anything where it's not reality-based.
Okay. So what drags you to the cinema now? What would get you to go to the cinema? What kind
of...
Horror?
Thriller, psychological drama.
Brilliant. Okay.
Anything that's harrowing, bleak, dark.
Okay. I think I'm getting a picture now.
I don't like anything where I'm supposed to care about bollocks.
Okay.
That's fair. I think that's absolutely fair.
Can't stand James Bond.
Lovely. I'll keep writing.
I'm with you. I don't like Bond either.
Cannot stand James Bond. I literally, mainly with Daniel Craig, for me, it's a mouth issue.
Okay.
Because he's got a mouth like a ball bag, and I cannot cope with it. So I had to leave my husband to finish off watching James Bond while I went and had a glass of wine and calmed down outside. Because I can't.
Wow.
I think
okay.
When
you left the cinema?
Yeah, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle his mouth.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
I mean,
because
that's
when somebody is sold to me as being sexy, and I'm supposed to find somebody sexy, and then they're pouting on stage, they're pouting in the film, and saying really annoying, hyper arrogant things, I'm straight away like can't cope. So I couldn't cope with it. So I had to leave. I had to leave and go and calm down.
I love this. This question just builds what kind of viewer and cinema goer, film goer you are. And I think we've got a great picture now. Esther, what is your best ever sequel?
Oh, I know I sent it to you.
You did?
Is it Rise or Dawn? Dawn of the Apes. Because Rise, I love the Planet of the Apes film.
This is mad to me now.
Because it's all fantasy.
Yeah.
I love them. I absolutely love them.
Okay, so let's build a picture
because they're really dark,
mm-hmm.
and there is an element of realism to it.
There is, I agree. Yeah, I'm with you. I love these, especially the 3 Matt Reeves trilogy. I think are incredible.
Yes,
but I
think they're brilliant.
I think the old ones.
Music is fucking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. The music is so gripping. I think it's a really gripping film, and there's not a lot of films that me and my husband can watch together. But he's like, it's like, if we have a night off together, he's like, I just don't know if I can watch another like harrowing film about paedophiles murdering children. Like, is there just any way we could just watch anything? Because last time I made him watch the Changeling with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
about the chicken coop murders.
Yeah.
And we went to bed and he was like, you just snored your way through the night. And I just was up every hour just having horrific flashbacks and had to keep just going and checking on the children and telling them I love them. So he was like, is there any way that we can just watch a film that isn't going to traumatize me? And so it's Planet of the Apes. He's like, oh, we'll just watch Planet of the Apes because it's the only ones that she can.
Brilliant. So how did you watch that in the first place? Were you the fans of the original?
I didn't think I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, do you want to watch Planet of the Apes? I was like, okay, fine. I'll have Planet of the Apes on. And I think we might have even, I think when we lived, because before we had kids, we lived in India and then we lived in Dubai. And we were, obviously, when you move to another country, you don't it's so nice because you don't have plans for the weekend ever. So cinema is like our thing.
Yeah.
Going for a curry in cinema. So if we ever have a night off, that's what we do.
Oh, right.
And I actually don't mind a lot of the stuff if I can watch it in the cinema because it's just a more enjoyable experience. But I think that's where I first saw Planet of the Apes. Was when
amazing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And did you see Rise before you saw Dawn? Did you do it the right way round?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Cool.
I get confused.
Rise is the first one, and then Dawn, and then War. Dawn and then War. Sorry.
Yeah. So Rise is when he first stands up and shouts no, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I do a bit in my new show actually about Planet of the Apes because I also look a bit like an ape.
I don't think you do.
Really long arms.
I've got really long arms.
My arms are way too long for my body. Like they go way. So I can do the ape walk really well.
Oh right. Okay.
Okay.
You have to go to Andy Serkis and see if he can cast you in the next one.
I know. Like I could skip around my own arms like a skipping rope. I could just use my arms. But also I think like in Planet of the Apes, Rise of Planet of the Apes, Dawn of Planet of the Apes, in Rise of Planet of the Apes, I really, not so much the beginning part, but I really love the fact that it's kind of quite political as well.
Mm.
But in Dawn of Planet of the Apes, I just love Koba.
Oh, yeah. Koba's a great baddie. He's a great baddie. He's a great
baddie, but also because he's a heartbreaking baddie.
Yeah.
I feel like you relate to him.
No,
Koba is understandable. Like, I love an understandable bad guy. Like, I love a baddie where you go, I know exactly why they feel like they do, and they're totally justified in that.
The one criticism I have about the Planet of the Apes, about the Rise and the Dawn and War of Planet of the Apes, is the female characters are always shit.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
It pisses me off. You always just have these really great, complex, fucked up, interesting, intricate male characters, and then you just have these women who just stand around going,
yeah.
And it's like, no, where are the dark, bleak, terrifying, damaged, fucked up women that I can relate to? But in Planet of the Apes, they were a bit like, they were always just like birthing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're there for.
And just passing their wise words in a corner.
Yeah. I think the new one might be a bit more, the latest one. Maybe a little bit. I was massively impressed with it. It's definitely not as good. It isn't as good as the first three.
And then, what's his name? The guy that's in War of Planet of the Apes. He's brilliant in it. Oh, what's his name?
What?
Woody Harrelson.
He's so good in it. I love that.
Yeah.
I think I like the idea of the underdog fighting back. And
it is very good. It's very good. It's a really good choice.
Was your husband surprised that you liked these films?
Yeah. So it was that one, and then Hellboy was the other one I quite liked. So I didn't watching those.
They're also very fantasy, though.
They are fantasy, but there was something about Hellboy which I can't remember. I mean, I haven't watched it in ages, but there was something about Hellboy that I just got on board with. I didn't find it cheesy, Hellboy. It wasn't cheesy.
No, it's
I think what I struggle with fantasy is cheese. Like, I can't bear rom-coms because of the cheese. Like, I don't mind a bit of cheese, like if it's like Clueless or something where it's like it was made to be ridiculous, or Mean Girls. Like, the whole point of it was to be ridiculous. But I don't like it where it's like you're supposed to watch this cheese and then be genuinely moved by this bullshit. It's like, don't feed me bollocks.
Yeah,
right?
I get that. Yeah, I can understand that. I think, you're absolutely right. Hellboy is an interesting one because I guess Hellboy is sort of a bit horror-y in a way. Because you like that horror genre and it's got that kind of...
Yeah, I like things that are quite dark.
Yeah. So Guillermo del Toro kind of brings that like horror vibe.
Yeah, like I would go. My way of relaxing is to listen to true crime podcasts. So that's how I go to sleep.
Nice.
My wife's very similar.
I'd be a bit more like your husband, and I'd be like checking the kids every 10 minutes.
My husband says it's awful because I fall asleep to it, and then my headphones will just like be out of my ear, and he can just hear, like I'm just snoring away, and all he can hear coming out of my headphones is, and then the body was dragged. But I have to like listen to true crime to unwind. I know. I've got
It's brilliant. It's
at
brilliant.
least I know
I love it.
It's the same. My wife loves watching murder documentaries as well on Netflix, and every evening I have to watch something about that. Yeah,
I think with women there is something a little bit obsessive about it because it's almost like face your fears.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because men, we're all such pricks, like, and having a bit of a fancy about murdering us all is probably not. I think that's probably fair, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know why I like things that are so dark. I don't know.
You're not alone. Loads of people do. Like, we've had so many people on the podcast who just love the darker stuff. It's not all people coming on and, loving like Toy Story and things like that. It's, people really do love horror, and they love like the darker genre kind of stuff.
But I can't watch anything where it's violence towards women. It's weird, isn't it?
Oh.
I can,
like I wouldn't be able to watch, like if it was a rape scene or something, I can't watch it.
No,
I could watch a man be like, I could watch like in Goodfellas when they like put is it Casino where they put the man's head in a vice?
Yeah, it's Casino.
Yeah. I mean I remember watching that with my dad, and my dad was just like, Jesus, I cannot. And that I could watch that, like men being violent towards other men doesn't bother me whatsoever. But if a man's violent, if it's a scene where a man's violent towards a woman, I just have to forward wind it. Like Once Upon a Time in America or something like that, I just have to. I can't watch it.
No, I think that's quite interesting.
I think if there's somebody who feels like a real underdog, then I wouldn't be able to watch it. If it's somebody who I feel doesn't have the ability to fight back.
Yeah. No,
I think with gangsters, because I feel like they're both on equal playing field.
Yeah. That makes sense.
They knew what they're getting into, kind of thing.
So I really hate horror movies that have kids in, because I feel like that's just, it's a similar sort of thing, is that the kids aren't able to fight back. Kind of, I really hate that kind of like kids in peril in a horror.
Watch Changeling.
Yeah, that sort of thing would really mess me up. I really hate that sort of stuff.
It's horror. I didn't expect it to be as horrifying, and also because it's a true case as well.
Yeah.
Is that better for you? If it's a true story, is that even better for you?
I think I find true stories easier to listen to in podcasts.
Right.
But Changeling really messed with my husband's head. But it really, I think there were bits of it where I couldn't watch. And then I did listen to loads of podcasts about it afterwards. I don't know. I think I do become a little bit like obsessed with people who do horrific things. Like I could listen to podcasts about men who have done horrific things to women, but I struggle to watch it in films.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really talked about this. No. I've never really thought about it much before. So
that's what we do. Somehow. We talk about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then we talk.
Yeah, why can't you watch rape scenes, Esther?
But ape on ape violence, fine. I'm trying to think of a link back to the film.
Ape on ape violence. No, because even in that, there's a bit in Dawn of Planet of the Apes where Cobra throws his son.
Oh, yeah.
No, his son's friend, Ash. He throws him off and that I really hated.
Yeah.
I really, really hated. So a bit on ape violence is a bit.
How do you feel about the human characters in that film? Can you relate at all to them, or is it all about the apes?
It's all about the apes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because who's in that? Gary Oldman's in that?
Yeah.
Gary Oldman.
Jason Clarke, isn't it? She's
like a nurse. Character. And then there's a kid.
Oh, I can't remember who the kid is. The female lead's Kerry Russell, I think.
It is Kerry Russell.
And Jason Clarke's like the male lead. Toby Kebbell's Cobra, sorry. That took me ages to figure that out. Like, that's a really good performance.
So good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
So you saw this one on the cinema, did you?
Yes.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Okay. And that was enjoyable. Matt Reeves, that was it.
Yeah, it's Matt Reeves.
So did you go and see War on the cinema as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, you really went out. And do you rewatch them still?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favourite films. The first two, Rise and Dawn, are my favourite. And then I don't mind War, but also I like to watch them in order as well. So I like to have a proper marathon of them.
Are you one of those people that has to watch them in order, like if it's a series?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love those films.
I watched Dawn yesterday preparing for this, and then I was like, oh, I need to go back and watch the other two now. Like, I should have watched them in
they
order.
Are good.
I just love that everything you told us at the beginning, like everything you hate, and then this is so fit into that category. But somehow something connected with you you like these films.
There's an element of, I think, because Planet of the Apes is just so much more realistic.
Yeah, no, I do.
It is. I think it's like, it's talking about, classism, racial divide, political divide. I think it's just using apes as the kind of like image of the underdog rising. So I find it quite easy to relate to, whereas in the Lord of the Rings I couldn't.
And it's a world you recognise. Like Lord of the Rings, you have to invent a whole new world with new things, people in the world, apes, you recognise that thing. It could be real, it could happen. We've seen coronavirus happen. There could be a virus that
and also
wipes
like
people out.
Going against like big pharma and anti-capitalistic. I like it. I think it's quite a revolutionary film.
Have you ever gone back and watched the originals? Have you ever done that with the husband? No.
Can't be doing with Charlton Heston.
Yeah, he's not great. But actually, like the third one where he's not in.
I think you really enjoy the third one.
Yeah, the third one is.
I'll go back and watch the third one.
It's
Charlton
dark.
Heston, I've got a bit of a.
It's really dark, the third one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, really dark.
What's the third one?
Escape.
Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
And it's all set on Earth. Yeah.
Hang on, let me look it up. Escape.
Yeah. And
so it's the third one.
You'd watch it and you think, this is a fun thing. And then by the end, you're like, oh my God.
Escape, Planet of the Apes. What one was Helen Bonham Carter in?
That was in the remake.
Yeah, that was
the remake of the first Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's its own version. It's terrible.
It's bad, but I still kind of like it.
Who's in Escape, Planet of the Apes?
Everyone that's in the
Roddy McDowall.
Yeah, Roddy McDowall, yeah.
No Charlton Heston in
No Charlton Heston in that one. And
fair enough.
It's fine.
Yeah, maybe I'll look at that.
They do a bit of time traveling, and the apes escape to Earth, and then there's like a whole series of the apes going shopping and stuff like that, and how they.
You're not selling it, dude.
Yeah, no, but it gets man turns against them pretty quickly.
Yeah,
it gets really. The end is proper.
The end is really bleak, like really bleak. Right? Yeah, it's.
You'll love it.
I think you'll like it. I think you will.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You'll probably get halfway through and be like, what the hell am I watching? But stick with it. It
doesn't feel like Dawn or Rise or anything, but
stick with it.
I remember having flu so badly and I watched so many like old films. I was going back and watching like Soylent Green and things like that.
Wow.
Right.
Have you watched Soylent Green?
I haven't. No, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Where they find out that the food that everyone's been eating is humans.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What year was that?
That's old.
It's an old film. Yeah. Such a good film.
It's like 70s, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Early 70s.
Early 70s. And M.
What's M?
With Peter Law. He's a paedophile.
I don't think I've seen that.
Somebody's identified him by putting an M on his back.
Oh,
and he's walking through town. And people are just gathering because they realise it's him. And then it gets to the end where they all basically corner him.
Oh, no, I've not seen that.
He just has a complete freak. He basically has this whole meltdown about how it's not his fault that he is the way he is. And it's such a good film.
Okay.
Because Peter Law is he's got such a bizarre look about him anyway. Such a good film.
Okay. I'm going to find that.
Yeah, and really good film. Soylent Green, really good film.
Yeah. Is that 70s sort of thing as well? The M, or
no,
was it earlier?
This would be like 50s.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you! I couldn't have completed this project without a little extra coffee. And since I brush with Colgate's Pro Series toothpaste with an expert-level whitening for a vibrant glow, I could show up to set each day camera ready and smiling wide.
Well, Kelly, looks like a little Colgate gave you a lot of confidence.
Colgate Optic White. Find it at all major retailers.
With Uber Reserve, good things come to those who plan ahead. Family vacay? Reserve your ride as soon as you book your flights. To all the planners, now you can reserve your Uber ride up to 90 days in advance. See Uber app for details.
The holiday season officially starts when you get that first card in the mail. Shutterfly makes it easy to add more meaning to the everyday with hundreds of holiday card designs that can be personalized in seconds with your favorite photos from this year. Select your greeting, customize the color, and even add little extras like personalized foil to make a holiday card that really shines. Enjoy 40% off with code SMILE40 at Shutterfly.com and send something meaningful this year. See site for more details.
I've just got another little question before the worst question. So this isn't your worst sequel, which I watched today.
Oh no, did you have to watch it?
I did not watch it. I've seen it already. I'm not watching it again.
What has been your most disappointing sequel? So you were going in actually looking forward to it, but you came out not liking it. So it doesn't even have to be a bad sequel, to be honest.
Oh, Inside Out 2 recently.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
All right. But I just thought Inside Out 1 was so good.
Yeah.
And Inside Out 2, I found it a little bit long, a little bit dry.
It is quite long. I will say that. I quite enjoyed it personally, but I think
I enjoyed it, but I was just so excited for it. And we were like, the whole family were like, we'll all go out and have a day out at the cinema. And then I was like, just wasn't really. I felt like just loads more could have been done. I just thought it was going to be quite exciting, that kind of period. But then I just felt, it was just just wasn't, and it just doesn't hit the mark.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that because Inside Out 1 connected with you at all, or?
I think Inside Out 1, it was just really, it was such a quirky idea and really good fun. And I think you kind of expect, you've got all these new emotions. How's that all going to pan out? But I mean, it was fine, but it just wasn't like, I couldn't really remember much about it. I don't know if I'd want to sit down and watch it again. Whereas in Inside Out 1, I've seen loads. It
is quite a similar story, I suppose. It is kind of a retelling of the similar thing where, you have to, I guess it is quite...
I'm confused if they tried to make it for adults or for children. That's always my argument for Inside Out 2. I'm not quite... Well, I haven't got kids, so... how did your kids react to it? Were they completely lost with the anxiety thing, or...?
No, I think they got it. But I don't think they really cared that much about it.
Yeah. It's not as fun as the first one, weirdly.
Yeah, the first one, it was also like straightforward. It was quite easy to identify. Whereas in this was like, I can't even remember what the story was, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
She's getting older.
She's getting older. Yeah, she's got more complex emotions. I watched it at the cinema and I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. And then I watched it with my son, and anxiety especially kind of really like connected with him, because he has ASD, and so he kind of, and he struggles a lot with anxiety and stuff, and so especially at the end when she's having the anxiety attack and it's whizzing around in her head all the time, and he's like, oh, that is what it's like, that is kind of like, how I feel, and that was quite nice. It meant a lot more watching it with him than it did watching it on my own.
Yeah, I don't think I've got particularly anxious kids. I don't think whereas then I was just sat there going, oh my God, that's me. But I don't think they really.
No.
But, I mean, it was fine. It's just, it wasn't as fun as the first one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't think it's as fun as the first one either. No, it's missing.
Do you often go into films looking forward to them? Whereas, what was the last film you're really looking forward to?
Because you have to go and watch a lot of kids' films, so I don't really. I want to go and watch Heretic.
Right, the Hugh Grant film. Yeah,
I really want to watch that.
Yeah.
I might go and do that on Sunday night. Actually, might go and watch that.
We can recommend a sequel. Actually, like Smile 2. It's surprising. It's surprisingly good. Like it's
I'm gonna watch Smile 2.
Me and Dave watched it at the cinema, and there were a couple of times where he almost jumped in my lap because he was like, the jump scares really got him.
I'm a jumper. And I think the people behind laughed at me.
Yeah, quite a lot
when it happened. So
I'm a jumper too. I'm definitely gonna watch Smile 2, but I think I'll watch that at home. But I want to go and watch Heretic.
Yeah, they both look really good. Hugh Grant's just crazy good at the moment. Like, He can do it. I've heard really good things about Heretic. Me and Rich are not great in horror films. We're getting worse the older we're getting.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. When I was
Are
a
you?
teenager, couldn't watch anything. If I watched a horror film when I was a teenager in my 20s, I would be awake for weeks. I remember at uni, we went to watch The Others, and I made all my flatmates sleep in my room for about 3 nights solid.
Brilliant.
I couldn't do it. But now...
I think it's since I've had kids. Like, I think that's that makes me softer somehow. I don't know. But I've never really liked like body horror stuff, though. I've always been a bit squeamish about that.
No, I'm not going to like Saw or things like that.
No.
I'm not interested in people being chopped up. What I like is the psychological. I really like things that are kind of dark where you're constantly wondering what's happening.
There is a bit of gore in Smile 2, but it is very psychological. I mean, it's completely psychological.
Have you seen Smile 1?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd say Smile 2 is better. Yeah, it's better than the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I had a whale of a time, weirdly, watching it.
I
enjoy being scared. There's a really good creepy dance sequence stuff going on.
It is, it's a funny old... it really... I watched it on a plane to Dubai, and then I was on my own in a hotel room in Dubai, and I just kept thinking about the Smile, and I was like, oh,
with
the light on.
It picks up literally where that film left off as well. So no spoilers to everyone.
Okay. Oh, that's quite good.
So it goes. So it's good. We'll recommend that. Okay, let's get on to the main one then.
Okay.
Esther, what is your worst ever sequel?
Sex and the City 2.
Yes. This is the right answer. Yeah, you win. Yeah, it is horrible.
Terrible.
Horrible.
Are you a fan of Sex and the City?
I was.
Okay, I was is the big one there. Okay.
I was. I watched it obviously when I was in my early 20s, had all the box sets of it. But now that I'm older, I really struggle with Carrie as a character. I find her incredibly annoying, and like just grow the fuck up and stop titting about pretending you're this teenager with really, really self-indulgent fake drama over these relationships. It's like, just grow the fuck up, develop some boundaries, and just be clear with what you want, and then crack on. Don't be an arse. And then Sex and the City 2, I just thought was shit acting, badly written, and really fucking racist. And I was just like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah,
it was my worst.
100%.
It was my worst sequel. What I found particularly interesting with Sex and the City 2 is that Miranda is supposed to be, I'm really educated, I really understand this culture. And she kept saying these Arabic words. What I found really interesting is the fact that they were literally just made up sounds. And I was like, how bad does the script writing have to be that you're literally just making up sounds and going, this is, I mean, okay, what's Arabic for thank you? Shukran. Okay, so why would that be so hard? But she was literally in the film going, they say Haji, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, why is this not even a real? I don't know. Just everything about it was
so
just
lazy.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was laziness or just I don't know, but it was such bollocks. Such bollocks. And then the fucking cheesy bollocks of them, like in the end when they get lost in the supermarket and then the women are like, look, we're all really sophisticated underneath. Look, we're like you. And it's just like, oh, fuck. Oh. What a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
Did you go and sit in the cinema?
I did, in New York.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Were you excited for it? Do you think it was going to be good going into it? Or
well, I think I was in my 20s and I'd watched all the box sets, and then I was in New York going to meet up with friends, and I was like, oh, I know Sex and the City 2's on.
Perfect.
I'll go and watch it. And I remember just thinking, oh, this is just crap. And then I've seen it since, and I'm just like, it is really bad.
Yeah, it is.
It is so bad. Yeah. And the whole Aiden thing, and oh God, just all of it is so shit.
There's not one redeeming quality in it at all.
It really isn't.
It's 2.5 hours long, which it takes them an hour to get to Abu Dhabi.
And why can they never just employ a Middle Eastern actor? Why is it always Art Malik? Why does he play every single Arab character in Hollywood ever? It's like, for fuck's sake, doing this really weird accent. It was so bad.
They couldn't even find a proper Irish woman to play the nanny, so let alone...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. But she doesn't wear a bra.
She doesn't wear a bra. She's got an awful accent.
God, I just remembered that.
It's Alice Eve as well, she's a great actress.
And she's jumping around, and all the men are just supposed to be really excited watching her.
But it's okay. She's gay. So she wasn't...
Yeah, so she's not an actual threat.
She's not an actual threat.
Charlotte's really annoying.
Yeah.
All of them are annoying.
They're all annoying, yeah.
I mean, I used to find actually that, I mean, I hated Samantha in the later series of Sex and the City because she really glorified rape fantasies, which I was just a bit like eked out by. But she was always just like, yeah, why is it not great just to pretend to be raped all the time? And you're like, okay. But I thought she was quite a good like comic actress. There were times when she, like her reactions and stuff did genuinely make me laugh, and I think she's a good actress. But Charlotte, I mean, I kind of get the character in the box set, but in that film, I just thought, God, she is awful. She's so awful, and she is a terrible actress. I've seen her in other films and stuff. She's just shit.
Yeah, all their problems are so annoying. Like, it's like, none of your problems are problems.
I know, and it's always just
dicks.
like... I mean, he doesn't accept that I leave my toothbrush at his house, and he's just like, he's being a complete arse to me about it. And you're just like, okay, if you're having those arguments when you're in your 40s with a man...
Yeah.
Get the fuck up.
Yeah, have a fucking grown-up conversation. Come on.
You all have to meet up with your friends and have brunch and discuss it for 4 hours.
It's ridiculous.
But no, women, and also it just paints this image that that's all women think about, and it's like, no, they never talk about anything else. Anything else.
No.
And they were like really dodgy as well. They're always just like, they never like checked in on each other, so they'd all have these like one night stands and stuff, but it's like no one would like check to see that anyone got home safe, or are you getting a cab? It was always just like, yeah,
it's like they don't actually like each other at all. Like, they just have to be around each other to one-up each other somehow. Yes,
it's a terrible, terrible film.
Yeah, we had to watch this in the past. Someone picked it. Or someone picked it as the worst. Rich watched it.
Oh, yeah.
And then they changed their mind. So he watched it for no reason the first time someone picked it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it is
one of those songs that you could just have on in the background, though. You don't actually have to pay any attention to it.
No,
it's not mercifully
think
short.
It isn't short, no. And I think also when I was watching it the first time, I was like really kind of trying to concentrate on it because I was like, someone has picked this. I need to understand it. And I was like, oh my God, it's so bad. And every time I was trying to like find something in it, there's nothing. There's just nothing. It's just
half it's an advert
horrible.
for Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems, especially when they get on the flight.
Middle East. It's not the backward Middle East. It's not the old Middle East where they're all savage and backward and pieces of shit. This is the new one where Art Malik, who's not even Middle Eastern, is here to welcome us, the posh, shiny Americans. Honestly, just everything about it was just badly written, badly researched, offensive, and it's just like, someone's just knocked this up over a weekend. It's just awful.
100%.
I don't think I'll ever recover from it. I watched it again today because you picked it, obviously, and I pushed it so far in the back of my mind the previous time I watched it. I was like, okay, I know Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I know your Dream sequel. I'll rewatch this. And I was like, 2.5 hours, that's bad. And then it's just so insulting to the culture of the people as well.
Is Sex and the City 2.5 hours?
Yeah. It's long.
What?
Yeah.
It's too long.
It's 2 hours, 26 minutes.
It takes them an hour to get to Abu Dhabi.
Oh, God, and then they've got all the Aiden bit, haven't they?
We haven't even discussed the gay wedding at the beginning, which is also...
With Liza
Minnelli. You think most of this is a cheese dream if you're not talking about it, like, afterwards. This is worse than horror films.
God, the gay wedding.
Yeah. Yeah, kicks off homophobic and just slips into racism. Like,
And she gets angry because Big wants a TV to watch a movie in bed. And then she's like, oh my God, I didn't think we were going to be that couple. Like, look at the manner. He's worked hard.
Everything, she's so...
She's awful.
God,
They're all
so
awful.
self-indulgent. He wants a TV in bed. Wasn't he a sex offender as well?
Well, that's what I think they've killed him off in the new series. I think Big has died.
Just Like That.
I'm guessing you haven't done that? No, I haven't.
It's so bad. It's
worse than the movie?
So bad. No, take the movie. The movie is incredible compared to Just Like That.
Wow.
Just Like That is awful.
Oh, okay.
It's so bad. I could do a podcast just talking about Just Like That.
People would listen. What made you go watch that? Did you think I'm going to give this a chance? Can I ask?
I think because Lily Phillips, I did my podcast with, she was watching it, and then I wanted to. It was completely that thing, you know, of what creates audience engagement, and one of them is social interaction, and you're just like, when people were talking about it, I was like, I'll just have it on in the background, and I was like, oh, okay, this is
awful.
It's so shit, and it's like, I don't know whether the guy. So what's his name? Darren Star. Is it Darren Star who produces it?
Sounds about right.
I think he's just a really small-minded, kind of right-leaning gay guy in New York, and I think that just reeks in everything that comes out of this.
Yeah.
It also tries to be so woke that it's actually offensive.
Right.
It's so woke. Like, there's loads of, like, everyone's, like, non-binary and all the rest of it, but to the point where it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Miranda's gay. She's got a non-binary partner who's a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
A shit one. You know, when they're in the comedy clubs and, like, they just walk out, and just... They're doing these jokes and the whole audience are just, like, crying with laughter, and you're like, yeah, that's what it's like. If you just walked out and went, hey, what's the deal with cheese? Everyone just falls around laughing. Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Samantha's not in it because they fell out, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just Charlotte.
Is it weird that, I mean, I find it a bit weird that Sex and the City 2 especially is a film supposedly all about female relationships, but it's written and directed by men? Like...
Yeah.
It's very much like this is what men think women talk about and do, like men that have never spent any time with a woman ever.
Yeah, just all obsessed with shoes.
Yeah. What?
Everyone talks about shoes for hours.
Yeah.
Hours talking about shoes, and these businessmen that we really wish we could get to commit to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And always have brunch?
Always having brunch.
Yeah.
Always having brunch. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, wild. I think that's in the running to be one of my worst sequels ever when we do ours, Rich, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's
not just one of the worst sequels ever. It's one of the worst things I've ever watched ever.
Yeah. Well, I've got so many things, like the Samantha character, everything she says is like a joke, and it's a bad joke.
Yeah.
And then I've watched a bit of Sex and the City back in the day when I was at uni, and I was like, I don't remember it just being like this, like mean and rubbish. And
it was mean.
Well, it was fun mean, wasn't it? Back in the early 2000s?
Maybe we were just a bit different in the early 2000s, Dave. Maybe we were stupid 20-year-old boys who didn't know anything. Like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it was the fact that as well with Carrie, I was just like, God, just grow up. You're always I just found the whole thing really, really dodgy. But with the sequel, I just thought, I cannot believe that this is making the money it's made, and I cannot believe that people are getting paid the money they're getting paid.
Yeah.
And it's such a bad piece of cinema.
Yeah, well, it's an advert. I'm going to say it's just Abu Dhabi paid for them to come over, and then they got insulted, I think, by the end of it. Did you surprise they never done it? Well, Sex and the City 3, but I'm guessing the series is kind of that, but without
Just
Samantha.
like that.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know what Sex and the City 3 would be. I mean, it does get to a point where it's just, it is a bit last of the summer wine, because they are, they're not, I mean, when you're in your, you get to a certain age where it's like, fucking hell, come on.
Yeah.
Chill out a bit. Like, it's got to get to a point where they're all just going on walking holidays.
Yeah, true.
And I love a walking holiday.
Booking a saga cruise.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
Three old birds on a walking holiday, fine. 3 old birds running around going, oh God, why didn't you phone me back? Cringe.
Not good.
Cringe. Right. Where's your dignity? Come on.
So,
You want to be a marketer. It's easy. You just have to score a ton of leads and figure out a way to turn them all into customers. Plus, manage a dozen channels, write a million blogs, and launch 100 campaigns all at once. When that's done, simply make your socials go viral and bring in record profits. No sweat. Okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. But with HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools, launching benchmark-breaking campaigns is easier than ever. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... just beautiful...
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
I've got another little question for you, which is before the Dream sequel one. So what sequel seems like a bad idea, but you ended up liking? So, for instance, you didn't think you were going to like the Planet of the Apes, but you ended up liking.
A sequel that I didn't know.
Because normally we talk about franchises in this question, but as you hate Marvels, Bonds, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, can I suggest a Fast and Furious? How do we feel about that?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. Horror ones?
Insidious.
Okay. Yeah.
Is 2.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed those.
Yeah, we watched those, didn't we? We watched The Red Door, the last one, which
I made you watch them all, Rich.
You did make me watch them all, yeah. Thanks for that.
I haven't watched Insidious 2 for a while. Which one's Insidious 2, Rich? Do you remember?
I don't. What happens in Insidious 2, Esther?
Does anyone remember what happened in Insidious 2?
I don't know. I can't remember. I remember enjoying them, but I can't remember. I'm trying to think of other...
I can remember the third one, just because it was ridiculous.
Is the third one the prequel?
No, it's the Red Door one, isn't it, I think?
That's the fourth one, I think.
Was that the fourth one?
Who knows?
Oh, I'm lost. I don't know. I can't remember.
So, yeah, Insidious Chapter 2 is the sequel, and then The Red Door.
Right, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, in Chapter 2, they think it's when the spirits come back, basically, don't they? They think they're all gone, and then they come back. So they think they're all safe and happy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, there are like creepy bits with the baby and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
So you went into that.
Reflections.
Did you like the first Insidious then? Is that kind of, or was...
I did. I watched that when I was on my film marathon when I was not well for ages, and so I watched no, I didn't watch The Red Door. I watched Insidious 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed them.
What else did you watch in your film marathon when you were sick, if you don't mind me asking?
So that was when I was watching all the old films as well.
Right.
And I was just going through all the old Hitchcock films. I was watching all those.
Oh, wow.
Love all those.
Yeah.
Education. I wouldn't call you a big film fan, but you know lots about films, but just not franchise films. Would that be fair?
I'm not really into a lot of mainstream. So I've always been a little bit into more alternative cinema.
That's a good thing, and that's hard for us because all the sequels we talk about tend to be really mainstream schlocky stuff. Yeah, but
well, I mean that's because that's if it generates money, then you have a sequel. But if it's not created to generate money, I mean that's probably why Saw 1 was so different to the rest of them, because it wasn't originally intended to be this kind of franchise. It's probably one of the only films that was independent.
Yeah.
It was then bought out to become a franchise, and that's why it drastically changed in its style. And I think that's why I quite like Insidious, is because it had some of those elements that you got from Saw 1, which was more kind of psychological and scary rather than just churning out kind of mainstream styled gore for a kind of wider franchise.
How do you feel about the paranormal stuff, like the Paranormal Activities? Have you ever gone down that alley?
I don't think I've ever watched them.
The Ghosts or the Poltergeist films, were you a fan of them when you were
young?
I
like them.
Yeah.
So the horror genre in terms of kind of sequely stuff, I guess that's the best place for you then. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Were your family, were they different? Were they like your dad and mum or whatever? Did they make you watch those kind of films, or were you pushing?
No, they didn't like horror films. They didn't like horror films. No, we would definitely watch a lot of old films, a lot of 60s, 70s type cinema, a lot of like, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, a lot of the, older films. My mum probably she was never really into anything scary, so we wouldn't really watch a lot of scary stuff. But yeah, we weren't a family who watched kind of like mainstream big Hollywood box office type films. It was always quite alternative.
It says on your Wikipedia page, if you don't mind me, that you're born in like near Saffron Walden, or because I'm from Bishop Stortford.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So
where'd you go to school?
The Bishop Stortford High School.
Oh, Bishop Stortford High School. Okay.
Boys High.
What was the weird school near you? Hearts and Essex, where the girls all wore the brown skirts down to their ankles?
Yes, that was Hearts and Essex. That was all girls.
So school. Handmaid's Tale, that school.
Yes, it was.
They all wore these long brown skirts down to their ankles.
That's weird. Yeah.
It is weird. Because in that area, there wasn't a lot of cinemas. Like, there was nothing in Stortford.
You had to go into Cambridge, didn't you?
Well, we went to Harlow, which is the awful place.
Harlow, yeah.
I'm just. Where did you go to Cambridge then? When you were?
If I wanted to go to the cinema, where would we go? Yeah, I guess Cambridge would probably be the easiest because you could get the train from Audley End.
Yeah,
but I used to go to cinema quite a lot in London.
Right.
So we used to go to London pretty much most weekends. So I'd go to the cinema quite a lot in London. But then even in Cambridge, the cinema was. Do you remember it used to be the Wetherspoons?
Yes. That was an arty one. It's still there.
That was an arty one, and they didn't have a mainstream cinema until we hit
until the Grafton Centre was put up.
Yeah, the Grafton Centre, and that's when we suddenly got. Was it a View or a Cineworld? We got there
for a while. It was a Warner Brothers cinema. It was like one of its kind, and then it changed.
Yeah. It's a View now.
I think it might have been a View, and then a few years later, they've built a new centre where the Cineworld is now and stuff. I believe. Right. But yeah, I used to go to that one in the Grafton Centre because I went to college in Cambridge.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to the regional.
So did I. Cambridge Regional College. Cambridge Regional Rejects.
Yes. That's what they can
go to the King's campus.
I went to, I don't know what it was, the one near the A14.
Yeah.
The site near the science campus and stuff. Yeah. What did you study? Do you ask?
Philosophy. Theatre studies and English.
Oh, I did media production, I think, or something. It was called media studies.
But did you do like the BTEC in media production?
Yeah. So we had to share the room with the theatre people, and you were all a special breed.
When were you there?
Between 2001 to 2003, maybe, and then I went.
You were after me.
A bit after uni, yeah.
Yeah. Because I would have left in 2000.
We just missed. But yeah, I loved it. And that's where I kind of learned about cinema a lot. And I used to go to that library and put VHSs. And a lot of us would just sit around this little TV and watch all these old classics.
Yeah, that was so weird. You could just go and get a video out of the library. And I remember sitting watching instead. I bunked off my philosophy lesson and went and watched Some Like It Hot.
Yeah. That's what they had. Literally, Rich. They had everything in this library.
That's a great choice as well. That's a great
pre-recorded.
Film.
That's where I watched all the Kevin Smith films. I remember watching Pulp Fiction on this like little TV, about four of us.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
With the sound playing. Yeah,
so, in the library, just watching it
in the library. Yeah.
Wow.
They've sent these little booths where you could just sit and watch the film.
Oh wow.
It was a nice library.
It was a really nice library.
It was a nice campus, to be honest.
It was actually a nice campus.
There was
when you go into the mechanics area and there was like a massive aeroplane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do you remember the bar above? It's not a bar, breakfast place above the sports hall, and it made the best sandwiches. It had
oh god. It's really triggering.
I remember my first day of college was September the 11th. The September 11th. And I remember eating this sandwich while watching on the news playing pool.
So I was in my first year of uni then.
Right.
And I remember being on the bus going down Seven Sisters Road. And someone was like, "Oh my God, the Twin Towers." And I was like, "Okay."
My dad's like, "The world's ending."
I know. I just didn't really register. It didn't really absorb. So I was like, "Okay." But that's not in England. So
I remember saying, "Is that real?" When it was
it just didn't register. I was like that when Diana was killed. I was just like, it just didn't register. It takes a while to sink in.
I remember that. A lot of people in Stortford were devastated.
Oh yeah, everyone was. You couldn't say, yeah. You definitely couldn't make a joke about that. No. Everyone was really.
Anyway, let's get back on course. Dream sequel.
I like this. I just sit and listen to you two talk about this stuff.
I read it. I was like, I know Saffron Walden quite well. One of my best friends from there. Did you ever come to H2O in Stortford? Did you get the bus from Saffron?
Yes, we used to get the bus to H2O.
There you go.
I can't remember anything
about Saffron Walden.
About life. Literally, the amount of people that contact me and go, "We went to school together," or "We did," and I'm like, I can't remember anything.
I don't blame you. I'm kind of the same with Stortford and school and stuff. So
I think I was doing a gig in Bishop Stortford. I can't remember where.
The Half Moon, probably.
I don't know.
Or I was about to call it the Road Centre, but I'm not allowed to call it the Road Centre anymore.
It was. I was with Paul Sinner and Marcus Bridstock. There was like a big theatre.
Yeah, they've changed the name because it was the Road Centre, but you're not allowed to say that because Mr. Rhodes, whatever he's a slavery person, so they've called it. It's literally at the end of my road. It's like the Bishop Stortford Arts Centre or something now.
Yes,
and that's literally next door to where H2O was.
That's so funny.
Dream sequel. What is your dream sequel? And then because this was mad.
Dream sequel is Secret Window.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
We've got questions.
Because I sent you a message saying, were you on the same stag do as Pierre Novelli? Because
I have never been on a stag do with Pierre Novelli.
Because the reason about to say head boy, but that's not the right word.
Best
man was a best woman. And I was like, oh, was that Esther? And apparently they all sat down and watched Secret Window together recently. And then he picked it as his dream sequel. So I was like, oh, maybe they watched it together.
So hang on, he's the best man at the stag do, made them all watch Secret Window.
Yeah.
Yes. And then Pierre picked Secret Window as dream sequel. Why is Secret Window your dream sequel?
I would love to watch. I would love it if there was a sequel which was like what made him lose his mind.
Okay.
To find out where those triggers and where that chemistry has all disconnected and made him go insane. I don't know if Johnny Depp needs to be in it because he can fuck off. But
he's quite bad in it anyway.
He's not a great actor, is he?
He's really
as good
not.
as a drunken pirate.
It is incredible how if you just tell people someone's great, people will just go, they're great. Because I've always felt like that with Nicole Kidman.
Right.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
People are like, she's an amazing actress. And I'm like, is she though? Because she just seems to whisper. Is it just me? Everything she's in, she just talks like that very quietly. And I don't take umbrage at her. I'm not watching her going, like, she's not annoying. She doesn't annoy me.
Right.
But I've never watched her and gone, my God, you're incredible.
Yeah.
Right.
There are other people that you watch and you go, fuck me, you really are a solid actor. Like, you've morphed into this role. Whereas with Nicole Kidman, it's really obvious she's acting.
Yes. Yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah.
I think with Johnny Depp as well, he's very wittery.
Yeah.
He is, yeah. And very
I
sort of staggery.
Drives me mad for that. Is what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. Can't.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay. No wonder you don't like Marvels.
No. Cannot. Honestly, when they're watching Marvels, him and the kids, can't deal with it.
Well, I had some good news and bad news. The bad news is, the good news is he died at the end of one of the major films, so you don't have to watch him anymore. Bad news is they've just recast him in another role in the Marvel universe, so he's coming back.
I mean, yeah.
When I watched the Dr. Dolittle film that he was in,
oh, it's terrible.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, why have you got somebody who can't do a Welsh accent?
Yeah.
Why does he have to be Welsh if he can't do a Welsh accent? And this man has wittered in a terrible Welsh accent throughout this entire film. And there is something about Robert Downey Jr. that is so fucking arrogant. It is it just penetrates everything he does. He cannot act in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't matter whether he's playing a murderer, a psychopath, a love interest. Everything just reeks arrogance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can say I'm getting an idea of people you don't like.
I love it.
I think arrogant men. That's top of your list, right?
Arrogant men, they're not for me.
No.
They don't like me and I don't like them.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair enough.
And drippy women. Drippy women and arrogant men.
I can definitely see why you don't like some of the movies you don't like. 100%.
It's so good.
Yeah. Not be doing.
I'm a mate. So Secret Window you like, right?
I like Secret Window.
Okay.
I think the guy who plays his
alter ego.
Is it alter ego or is it like his biggest fear?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like John Turturro. Yeah.
He's brilliant. I think the way it's filmed, I think, you know, the cinematography, the framing, the establishing mise en scène, everything, I just think is so good. I think it's a really gripping film. I think it's an interesting film. I love it. And I'd love if there was a sequel where you can just go back and really unpick who that man is, who is his biggest fear, where's that come from? And I'd love it if it was like it was actually a real character from somewhere deep in his psyche.
I think there's a much more interesting film than potentially this one is. You know, I think the principle is there. It's a Stephen King book, isn't it? It's a short Stephen King story. Yeah, and I think they could do a better job with what you're talking about, with delving into the character a bit more than they actually do.
Yeah, it could be one of those where you start off almost at the end and we're going back.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's going on, so it's one where you're unpicking it as you go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that would be that sounds like a much more interesting film than the actual film.
Not a fan.
I mean, no, I'm not a fan, to be honest. I actually love the genre. I love, like, you know, kind of mysterious thriller genre. I think it's mainly Johnny Depp that I don't like, to be honest. I think and I hate the corn at the end. It's just corn.
What at the end?
It's just
corn.
Like, it's just like
basically he buries the dead bodies beneath the corn.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he's just
and then when the police officer turns
corn,
up, he's literally like, "It was a ming."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like he's eating his wife, essentially. Like, he's buried her under the corn, and now he's eating all the corn, and he's obsessed with it. And I was like, bleh.
Yes.
When did you watch this one? In 2004? Was it a recent watch?
I've watched it a few times.
Okay.
I totally forgot about the ending.
Yeah. The secret is they're buried under the secret garden.
I remember that.
Because it's called Secret Window or whatever it is. Yeah. And there's only one pointer to the secret window, because the wife's like, it could be our secret window. And then it's never mentioned again in the movie.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
It's never mentioned again.
But what I love about films, and what I love talking to you, is that different films can mean so much to different people, good or bad. Like, I think this movie's trash. So I think but I think, again, Rich is right. It's mainly down to Johnny Depp and the shoot her bit. But what I love, and our favourite bit on this podcast, is when people pick the same film for good or worse. So one week someone picks a film for the worst sequel, and then the next week someone picks one for the best sequel, and that's our favourite thing. It's so good, like, because film can mean so much to so many for so many different reasons.
I think with Secret Window, it's always just been quite a good. Oh, I tell you what, is a really shit film, but I love it.
Oh, please, this is my bag.
Is Stepfather.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
With
Stepfather.
What's his name? Oh God, what I can't.
Is it a horror film?
This is what perimenopause is. You just spend your life just standing around going, "Oh, what's his name? Oh, where are they? Oh, what do they? Oh, where were they?" You know the guy who stars in You?
Oh, The Stepfather from 2009.
Penn
It's got Amber Heard in it. Is Amber Heard in it? If I made that up.
Amber Heard is in it, yes.
Is she the girlfriend?
Yeah, I think
Kelly
so.
Porter. Dylan Walsh plays the stepfather, I guess, the guy from Nip Tuck.
Yeah.
I know him from. But I've never seen. Is it trash and you love it?
It's trash, but I love it.
I love the poster. The line is, "This fall, Daddy's home." So
that's creepy.
I did not know that was Amber Heard. I don't think I ever knew who Amber Heard was.
I think that was before Amber Heard was Amber Heard.
Yeah, when she was just another blonde actress. Yeah.
I tell you why, because it follows every single convention of a cheesy horror film.
Yeah.
So you know exactly, it's got that thing, who was it, Stephen Neal, who said audiences love repetition and difference. So you've got to go to the cinema knowing that these are the things that you're going to get from the film that you enjoy from your taste in genre.
Yeah.
Then it's got to have something that's different. Stepfather has nothing that's different. It's literally, and I quite like those films where it's somebody gets into a relationship with somebody, turns out they're not who they think they are, and then at the end, it's a mad escape. It's one of those films where you don't have to think about it. You know what's going to happen, but it's got the really straightforward things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A kind of like, what was the other one that was like that?
Get Out. Get Out's quite like that.
No, I think Get Out's quite a good twist, but I think, to be honest with you, Get Out is just a remake where they've taken from gender to race, Stepford Wives.
Yeah, it's quite like that, yeah.
I mean, Stepford Wives is a brilliant film, but Get Out follows a lot of the same patterns.
Yeah, same beats. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Can you relate with the Johnny Depp character being a writer in Secret Window?
I think because my idea of absolute heaven, and I don't know why I'm lowering my voice as if my husband's going to hear this in the other room, and I don't care because I got locked in the porch this morning and we've had a massive row about it, so he can piss off. But my absolute fantasy. Do you ever do that where my husband will come in? Leaves his key in the door. So then I get in the other side. So I'm stood in the porch.
Yeah,
and he then has noise cancelling headphones where he sits and has meetings. So I'm now locked in the porch. And then he came storming downstairs as if it was my fault that I'm locked in the porch.
Oh, it's not the man. It's not our fault. So.
And then he called me a dickhead. And I'm like, well, you can fuck off.
Revenge? What are you going to watch something murdery tonight?
We use dickhead quite a lot in our family.
I love that.
I was on the Pierre Novelli's podcast with Olga Koch and Milo Edwards. And I was telling about the time that I can't be doing, because I've got a real mouth issue with my kids and my husband. They chew sometimes when their mouth. Yeah. And I just lost it. And I called them all. I was just like, you're a dickhead. You're a dickhead. You're a dickhead. And then I was like, is it too harsh to call your entire family dickheads? But I was like, no, I think it's okay to have a meltdown and call them all dickheads. Anyway.
Writing.
So I have this real like fantasy that one day I will live in this really rustic type cabin really near a lake.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll just read books and write.
Nice.
And I think Secret Window aesthetically taps into that for me. So I find it really it's a bit of a fetish.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
During lockdown, I found this perfect house, and it was in the Lake District, and it was like a boathouse, and you needed to do it up, and it was overlooking Ulverston Lake. And then I looked it up recently because I just kept staring at it going, I found the perfect house, and someone's bought it, but they've done it up as an Airbnb. So I'm like, I might just.
You should go there.
Yeah.
I will get murdered though. It's so that place.
Is it really?
But it's literally like it just backs onto a lake. And my husband was like, what is it that you like so much about it? And I was like, well, it's got like a little jetty and somewhere where you can put a boat so that if we did have an argument, I can just get in the boat and just sail away from the house.
Brilliant. Yeah. I love that.
My back.
I can see why you like Secret Window now. It's clear as day.
Yeah, that's your perfect house.
Those, sometimes when a film just has, I think I'm quite sensory in that way. But do you know when a film just really satisfies your senses?
Yeah.
Like, there is something that I really like about dark films and horror films is that they always have quite low level lighting, which I really enjoy. And they always have quite isolated locations, which I really like.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see this way. Would you like the sequel to come out now? Would you be up for it if they, it's been 2004 was this one?
Yes.
Would 20 years later? Reunion, yeah.
Gap.
20 years later, it can come out now. Who will play?
You don't want Johnny Depp? Had any other ideas?
I don't want Johnny Depp because I don't really enjoy him.
Any actors you do enjoy we can get in there?
It would be quite good.
Well, I mean, the guy that in Stepfathers would be quite good, whatever his name is, Penn.
He's not that great though as an actor. He's so
he's quite watchable though, isn't he?
He is watchable, but I don't know if he'd be good as this. Maybe like
Tom Hardy's always good.
Who?
Tom Hardy. He'd be quite good.
Yeah,
as
maybe a Tom Hardy or a Channing Tatum.
Oh, Tatum.
Oh, that's a good film. Him and God, this is like torture.
I know. Foxcatcher.
Yes.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah.
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 Him and Steve Carell.
So, who's Steve Carell?
I was like, I've got to go to a dark film. Esther will like it. Channing Tatum. I've got it.
That is a good film.
That's a really good film.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That's just celebrating its 10th year anniversary.
We'll podcast about it afterwards.
Oh wow, yeah.
So you like a real murder mystery movie that you can then listen to the actual real details of on a podcast after.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a podcast idea me and Rich had once, kind of thing. So
is it? I can't remember. Those were Esther Manito's Unequal Sequels. I think that's my favourite episode.
It says it every time.
I know I do, but every time it gets better. I really, really enjoyed that. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun to record. It was a lot of fun to record. I hope it comes across in the recording how much fun we had doing that, because Esther is amazing.
There are also some random tangents. We do go down some black holes and whatever about not film stuff and other film stuffs. And maybe we don't fully answer the questions fully a lot of the times.
I don't think that matters.
It was quite the ride, wasn't it, Rich?
It was amazing. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I thought, we could be friends. Like, I love it when I have a guest.
Very dry, very dark.
I love it when we have a guest on and I'm like, I'd like to be friends with you.
And her picks were good. Great picks.
And also bad. So, started off amazingly. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, one of my absolute favourite films. I love it to pieces. I love that whole trilogy. It's incredible.
Great films.
Yeah, absolutely. Sex and the City 2 for worst sequel is bang on the right answer. It's a big old pile of shit. I hate it. It can get in the bin.
Terrible film.
Secret Window for dream sequel again. The second time in this season we've had Secret Window. I don't like this film.
Esther really likes this film.
I know, right?
When Pierre picked it, it was because of a piss take.
Yeah.
Esther picked it because she likes the film.
Yeah, but
which is fine.
I kind of like her ideas for a sequel. And I do, I think I do agree with her about the bits in the film that are good. It's just there's so much of it that's not.
I had to check. Well, you listened to the episode. I had to check that she wasn't on the same stag do that Pierre Novelli was on, where they watched it. Yeah. And she wasn't. No. So, great. Yeah, I loved talking to her about all those films. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the weird one out of all that, because after the opening questions and finding out her film tastes and stuff like that, how we got to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
I can see it though. Because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, despite being kind of fantasy, almost sci-fi, is still set on Earth. It's still a grounded situation. It's still you can still see it could happen. It's not a far distant planet, where anything's possible. It's still the premise of being on Earth.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Esther doesn't like Star Wars, Marvel stuff. She doesn't like Lord of the Rings. It was mad and brilliant. But something she really does hate is Sex and the City 2.
Oh, God.
Which you didn't watch again, did you?
No. God, no. I've watched it twice already, and that's far too many times.
See, now I've caught up with you. I've watched it twice now as well.
It's horrible.
It is. It's so bad. 2 hours, 30 minutes long of that crap.
Torturous. Absolutely torturous. Yeah.
It's hideous. It's definitely going to be in there when we have to think about worse sequels, because the money they threw at it as well, and it's bad, really bad. But yes, thank you, Esther, for coming on and telling us all your film choices and brilliant film choices. Go check out Esther. You can find her on Ghastly Women with Lily Phillips. It's a very funny podcast. Again, they go off topic quite a bit and it's just very funny stuff. You can also go to YouTube, check out Esther's stuff's all there. Check out Esther on Live at the Apollo. She's done that. She's so funny. So funny.
Really funny.
Really funny. We really enjoyed watching the episode. So thank you to her for coming on. Go check her out. I'm sure she'd be on tour. She'd do shows around the country. If she comes near you, wherever you are, go see her.
I mean, not like walking down the street. If she comes near you and you just notice her, don't follow her. That's not good.
No.
That's a bad
If you want to go see a good comedy show
in
a venue.
Do that. And, social media, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but not
like in
don't hound
person.
her on. Yeah.
No.
Just praise.
Do you know what you can do if you want to follow someone, though? You can get on our social medias. You can go on all the social media things. Probably not the Twatty X one anymore. I don't think we're going to do that anymore. We're coming off there.
I put things up and then I leave.
Yeah, I think
if that makes sense.
I don't think we're even going to do that anymore.
Okay, I'm up with that.
I think we should, just leave that horrible cesspool of rubbish. But all the other ones, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, that sort of stuff, we're on there. Just type Unequal Sequel into the search bar and you'll be able to find us. You can also get in touch with us on email, unequalsequel@hotmail.com, and let us know what you thought of Esther's choices. We will read out your thoughts in the end of month roundup that's coming pretty soon after you hear this one. It might be too soon. Might not be able to get your thoughts in time, but do it anyway. It's all good.
Oh no, it'll be gone.
Yeah, never mind. We'll get it in a month end of month roundup somewhere.
Yes,
somewhere. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine. And if you really loved us, if you want to hear more from Esther, then join us on anotherslice.com/unequal sequel, where for just $2.99 a month you can join our fantastic subscription service, and you get Box Set Mentality. You'll get Disenfranchised, 2 extra podcasts. We do still need you to do us a favour. We need you to click the auto download button, click the subscribe button, and we'll drop into your pod player of choice every single week. But also get on your pod player, especially if it's Apple Podcasts, and write us a review because it helps people to find us, especially if it's 5 stars. But more than that, if we can get 200 5-star reviews, we'll be able to become certified critics on Rotten Tomatoes.
And ratings. I love the reviews. But make sure you rate.
Yeah, make sure you do the 5-star ratings. Yes. I think you have to. Don't you do a review? I don't know. Anyway.
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, get on there. Do that. We want to be certified Rotten Tomatoes critics because we think it would be funny. And that's the main thing.
Fun.
Yeah.
Do exactly what Rich says. Get everything, your thoughts in. Even if they missed the cut-off for this month, we will read it in the next month, which is going to be the end of December.
Wowzers.
And end of the year.
Wow. This has come around
so send us
fast.
Also, send us... We're starting to think about our best, worst sequels of the year because we'll be doing our big yearly roundup at the beginning of 2025. Please send in your thoughts on that as well, the best and the worst, what you've seen. The great Tom Cruise Cake Quest rolls on. Go check out episode 3 of that with Liam Dempsey from Spotlight Podcast. You were about to tell me something?
I was going to say, make sure you subscribe now because you do not want to miss our Christmas special episode.
Big Christmas special episode.
It's
official.
I think it's pretty genius, to be honest. I'm so excited because I just think it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm like a kid at Christmas, literally, getting to do something I've wanted to do for ages.
It is. It's going to cause ripples in the world of podcasting.
I know, man.
Independent film podcasting in this country. They're not ready for it. Anyway, I've got nothing else to say, so it's a goodbye from me, bye-bye, and a goodbye from him.
Bye!
See you on the next one. 6 for this one. Have a great week. Bye-bye. We've only got 3 more interview episodes of this season and then the Christmas special, by the way.
Amazing. That is
cracking, isn't it?
Amazing. I just really hope that, Russia doesn't cause World War III before we get this Christmas special out because I'm really looking forward to it.
It's always bloody Russians. all right. We don't get paid there.